Hello, welcome to our presentation. My name is Thad Wilkins, and today we will be talking about iPads on military networks. Our objectives today include understanding the importance of connecting iPads to military networks. We will review possible uses of iPads by the military. We will then discuss security concerns, summarize the cost of implementation of iPads in the military, and finally identify common limitations and weaknesses of iPad use in the military. My name is Thad Wilkins, and I will start us off with background and introduction. The article that our presentation was based on was written by Spencer Ackerman on May 3, 2013, entitled, "In 2 weeks, your iPad can be used on military networks."
I'm noticing the red sticker.
Sure.
Secret.
Yeah.
So this is an iPad that contains some of this nation's most critical day-to-day military secrets.
That brief video clip was an interview on CNN when the new chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Martin Dempsey, was interviewed by Pentagon correspondent Barbara Starr regarding General Dempsey's use of an iPad to read his classified intelligence. This interview aired on CNN on October 7, 2011. Even the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dempsey, could only use his iPad offline. In fact, iPads could not until recently log onto the military internet system, CPRNet. General Dempsey thinks iPads can reduce operational costs and improve military efficiencies. You might be asking yourself, why the iPad? Why this mobile device? The iPad has a number of benefits that may be beneficial to the U.S. military. The iPad is thin and lightweight, and it also has excellent geo-mapping technologies which may be useful on the battlefield. The iPad is cheaper than specialized and bulky products that the military has used previously. Because iPads and iPhones are used by the military for their private phones and mobile devices, there's a very short learning curve for the iOS. And if the iPad is lost or broken, it's much cheaper to replace than previously used expensive products. You may ask, well, why now? Why the delay? The iPad has been out for years. It is true that the military has delayed approval of the operating system on the military network, including iPhones and iPads. The military in general has been moving cautiously into the mobile market. However, the government has nearly 500,000 BlackBerries in service, and in fact, the BlackBerry phones and tablets were the first new devices with government clearance to be used on its military networks.
My name is Mary Atchley, and I will be discussing 3 examples for possible uses for the iPad within the military. When military personnel respond to natural or man-made disasters, they are often met with chaos on the ground, including people in desperate need of aid and supplies. Through applications and other systems on the iPad, teams can input information such as number of people in need, category of needed supplies, and match that with inventory systems to quickly route aid to the appropriate locations. In an interview with ABC News, Greg Diarbon of Overwatch Systems cites the example of a soldier having the ability to direct refugees to the appropriate aid stations based on supply information immediately available through the iPad. Another key potential use of the iPad is custom applications native to the device that contain secure information relevant to military exercises and missions. This includes content such as reconnaissance information, mapping for drone operations, and key intelligence pertinent to carrying out missions. In an interview with the LA Times, Marine Captain Jim Carlson recounts a time when he was running a support mission and it was taking too long to figure out where the U.S. troops under attack were located. The reason being, his team was trying to locate the appropriate map, unfold it, and identify where they were and where they needed to go. In moments like this, when lives are on the line, it is critical that soldiers have tools that provide quick and easy access to key information. Finally, the iPad is a practical tool that can replace military laptops for daily activities. For example, pilots require massive amounts of information to execute key missions, and the iPad allows them to consolidate flight plans, manuals, and other materials. Additionally, iPads are more portable than traditional laptops and have the ability to better withstand environmental elements.
Thank you, Mary. Now, Carrie Davis will discuss security concerns regarding iPad use on military networks.
Hi, my name is Carrie, and today I will be discussing security concerns with iPad use on military bases. The Army is pursuing a solution that sidesteps the security issue in a sense, one that ensures that these consumer iPads access data without storing it. This way, if a device winds up in the wrong hands, it cannot be hacked into and exploited. Air Force Special Operations halted its iPads purchase plans 2 days after NextGov asked about the inclusion of Goodreader as one of the apps for managing and reading PDF documents on the tablet device. Goodreader is a popular iPad app that handles file transfers to and from the device and online servers. It also includes support for viewing several document formats, such as PDF. The apparent problem with including Goodreader on the Air Force list of approved apps is that the developer, Good.iWare, is based in Moscow. Presumably, the government sees that as a potential security risk. The FAA has concerns about theft of government data, forcing information and security officials to find secure ways to use the tablet. Software embedded in the technology can allow administrators to remotely wipe a device clean of all government data, control what employees download, and separate personal email and internet browsing from government business.
Hello, this is Ashley Burton, and I will be discussing the cost and implementation of the use of iPads in the military. There are many cost-saving benefits that will be noted by the military using and allowing iPads on their network. The first cost benefit is that each device is cheaper than the previous used battle-hardened equipment. These devices cost a couple of hundreds of dollars compared to the thousands of dollars spent previously. The next cost-saving benefit is the amount of training time and training costs that will be saved. The system that the iPad runs on is very simplistic, and many are already common users of the ISO system. The training program cost and the time spent training will also see a decrease. Users will only have to be able to be trained on the actual applications or the programs needed for their specific job duties. The last cost-saving benefit is the ease of replacement if the equipment is lost or stolen. Since these devices are a lot cheaper and easier to come by, there will be savings in money for the military as well. The costs associated with the project are the research and development costs and also costs associated with the future security issues. The cost for the research and development was not astronomical for the implementation of the project. Due to the tight security requirements, there are expected cost increases in the future. Encryption specialists are already hard at work in ensuring these security measures are met. There are currently 2 major contractors working on the implementation. Harris is working on an iPad application to allow ground troops to use touchscreen gestures to remotely control a camera aboard an unmanned aerial vehicle. The Intellect Software Solutions is planning actual field tests with the applications that are being created for the soldiers. Testing phase has already started, and the military should begin seeing the use of these devices in applications soon if all continues to go well.
Hi, my name is Alden Brooks, and I will be going over the limitations and conclusions of iPads in military use. First, I would like to look at a security concern that was brought up by the Air Force Special Operations Command with a quote that will be seen on the next page. The quote reads, "Apple's mobile OS, or iOS, which is used on both the iPhone and iPad 2, has not yet passed security clearance for use by federal government, although Apple is working with the Department of Defense and other government agencies to meet their security requirements." Clearly, this is quite a concern for the Department of Defense and for military. Unless Apple can conform to these standards and make sure that the data is secure, the military will not make a change. In addition to the data security, let's take a look at some other limitations and weaknesses. First would be the time required to build apps. This would be of a special concern if the military is trying to make the switch be fast. Clearly, they would need to look at the timeline to include the amount of time that would be needed for developers to create these new apps. In addition to creating these new apps, they would also need to look at any upgrades and fixes to this new software. Thirdly would be the outsourcing cost and potentially security concerns if they have an outside source coming in to make these apps and to deal with our confidential data. So let's try to wrap all this up with iPads. There are a great number of benefits that these have over the current systems that are in place. First, they would replace very heavy laptops. Second, they can be used for both intel sharing and drone operations while in the field. Third is that they require less training, as many folks are already familiar with their software, as well as being easier to replace if the devices are lost or stolen. There is one main issue, which was discussed earlier with the security concerns and the potential theft of government data, but we feel like that if the government and the Department of Defense especially can work together with Apple and get these concerns met, that they should move forward with this new technological advancement. Thanks.
Thank you, Alden. This is Thad Wilkins from Team Silver, and that concludes our presentation on iPads on military networks. Thank you.